Middle School in Longview is supporting its students and staff when it comes to managing stress, anxiety, or just overwhelming emotions. As KLTV7's Christine Guevara reports, it's all through a new space on campus called the Calming Room.
1, 2, and 3.
The Calming Room is now open for students and staff. The idea came about when the Counseling and Guidance Program gave students a needs assessment test last November.
We looked through the results and we saw that we had a high percentage with students who were experiencing anger, stress, and anxiety.
Counselor Dr. Carmen Smith says the return from the pandemic played a factor in this high percentage. But with the green light from the principal, they decided to create the Calming Room. The program was also awarded a $500 grant from the PTO to officially bring the idea to life.
When the students enter, of course, their anxiety and their stress levels may be medium to high. But the goal is for them to go back in a more calm, emotional state so that they will be able to focus more in class.
Those who come in can expect soft lighting, affirmations on the wall, mindfulness coloring books, and tactile things like stress balls. 8th grader Janiyah Lincoln shared her thoughts on the new space.
Most people think that kids don't have stress because they don't have anything to worry about, but plenty of things that we worry about: tests, teachers, homework, personal lives. This room will help with all that.
We're hoping that this space is something that we are proactively doing to make sure that the mental health of all of our students and teachers are met in this building.
Christine Guevara, KLTV 7 News.
Dr. Smith says their vision is to bring calming rooms to other Longview schools in the future. That's a great idea.